and the candidate of the UPP, Mr. Osita Chidoka. Thank you, everyone. Shall we rise for the Nigerian national anthem?
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Thank you, everyone. We'll take a short break, and when we return, it's going to be time for the candidates to take their opening statement. Join us again, everyone.
Anambra State. The November 18 election in Anambra State is not a referendum on our past. It's a referendum on our future. It's an election to decide, do we want the voice of Anambra to be heard in Nigeria? It's an election that wants us to come out in mass and vote for that state that is a state that makes it possible for its citizens to realize their God-given talents and abilities. Anambra State has the most astounding human potentials in Nigeria, and we need to continue to invest in our human beings. The future of Anambra, the future of our children, the future of our people is what this election is about. And if you believe that we need to restore our voice in Nigeria, all you need to do to make this happen is to come out, support me, and help me to be the governor of Anambra State.
Here is how to improve the electoral process in Nigeria. If you witness incidents like delays in voting, voter accreditation or voting without voter card, distribution of unstamped and unsigned ballot papers, voters not being able to mark their ballot papers in secret, multiple thumb printing of ballot papers, falsified or non-announcement of results at polling unit, underage voting, insufficient election materials, ballot stuffing, and violence, you can report straight to the Situation Room. Call 090-950-50505 or 090-3299-9919 or email us at situationroom@placng.org. For more information, visit www.situationroom.placng.org. You can make that difference.
4 years ago, we told Anambra that it's forward ever and backward never. Today, we've delivered a better Anambra. Our homeland is safe and secure. Our hospitals are better and our capital city more beautiful. Workers are paid on time. Agriculture is all-time high. We've improved infrastructure and have been outstanding in education. We've united warring communities and created religious harmony. We delivered 181 projects in 181 communities based on their needs. Little wonder, we've attracted over $4 billion investments inflow, creating jobs for our people. We did all this when our nation is in recession. Don't you feel better now? Being Anambra, it's better today. Let's vote for a greater tomorrow. Vote Abga. Vote Willie Obiano. Better today, greater tomorrow.
Hello, I am Chibuzo Ahmed Odutoye. I am always with my phone and I've got lots of apps installed. But power to the people!
Thank you so much, everyone. Wherever you're watching We'll now get down to business. You are the live telecast of the Anambra Governorship 2017 debate as we anticipate the D-Day when people of the state will be able to vote the next governor of the state for another 4 years. The candidates, the 5 of them, have now taken their position, and we'll be starting this session with the opening statements and brief on their manifestos. The candidates are aware their major statements are going to be taken 2 minutes, and we'll be starting from my right with based on alphabetical order. So we'll be starting tonight 2 minutes, and that's the timing with the candidate of the APC, Dr. Tony Onwoye. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much. The Anambra Kene Mono. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, panelists, my Lord Bishops. My name is Dr. Tony Onwoye. I represent Anambra Federal Constituency. I'm contesting for governorship of Anambra under All Progressive Congress. I'm here to offer myself to serve as the chief servant of Anambra State, to be able to actualize the vision and mission. Vision number 1, to take Anambra State to an enviable height. Enviable height in the southeast, the political zone as a whole, enviable height in the entire Nigeria and Africa as a whole. I'm here to be able to offer for service, if you give me my mandate, on key areas of education, health, infrastructure development, health sector, housing, commerce, and trading, and so on. I'm of the opinion that one of the greatest zeal why I want to contest for governor of Anambra State is to block leakages, wastages, whereby over 700 special assistants, special advisors being appointed or have been appointed by the present administration. Some of them don't have portfolios, most of them don't have portfolios, they don't have offices. But every month, the state government parts away with more than 500 million naira in the name of this issue of payment. The wastages, leakages in government. Number 1, I'm of the opinion that if I'm elected...
Mr. Way, I'm afraid your time is up. Thank you so much. Let's go to the candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Willie Obiano.
Good evening. I'm the governor of Anambra State, so I don't need further introduction. My vision is to take Anambra. My vision is to make Anambra first choice investment destination and a hub for economic and commercial activity. My mission is to create a socially stable, business-friendly environment where indigenous and non-indigenous alike will have opportunity for wealth creation. It is this vision and mission that we put into our blueprint, and from the blueprint we have the 6 enablers, so the 5 enablers and the 14 pillars. Enablers, the four pillars. Pillars: agriculture, trade and commerce, oil and gas, industrialization, and of course logistics being the gateway to the southeast. On the enablers, security, education, health, environment, infrastructure, youth empowerment, and sports development, what have you. And these 14 enablers plus the 5 pillars will have measurable outcomes: increase in GDP, inflow of cash, the social stability in the system, the food security, and what have you. But beyond this, let me emphasize that I'm here to ask for your re-election, for my re-election, to be able to get this my enablers and 4 pillars that are already working to be properly concluded in the next 4 years. The greatest thing I brought to Anambra was the security, which I'm sure we'll have time to debate and look into. Then, of course, we're doing well in education, trade and commerce. Agriculture is key. We're doing very well there already, and we're going to do more in these coming years. I believe we'll have time to look at that too. And of course, trade and commerce, oil and gas, and of course the infrastructure on the airport.
Time is up, please. Let's go to the next candidate, please. PDP candidate, Mr. Oseloko
Good evening. My name is Oseloko Baze. I represent PDP, and I'm asking the people of the state to allow me the stewardship of governing the state and serving them. I have a broad platform. I've lived in Anambra since 2012. I know the state. I know the challenges. I know the direction. I've been in government, state government most recently, international system, and the federal government a while ago. What do I have planned for Anambra State? I believe this state is no longer working. We have a mission, we have the resources, we have the intelligence, we have the people, but the government is no longer working for our people. We need to take government back and give it back to our people. How do we do that? Human development capital. We need to focus on human development capital, basically anchored on three spheres: education, social welfare, healthcare delivery. Education. Our people are paying an enormous amount of money and they're not going to school. We need to take the children back and put them in school. We will devote 26% of our budget to education. That allows us to offer free education from kindergarten to JS3. We're going to take a percentage of that 26% and give to vocational training and certification. We will take 10% and give to mission-run schools because our children go there. There are far more things that we need to do. We talk about security. I was part of the development of the security architecture in this state as a Secretary of State in this state. The last security summit that was organized in 2014, I oversaw it. I was part of the operational plan. So I understand what security means here. We do have security. The foundation is there, but we need to improve on it. Security includes all facets of life, property, and freedom of movement. We don't always have that, but that is something that we need to do. But we need to also do governance. We haven't had local government elections. If I come in as governor, I promise that we will do local government elections within 6 months because the Constitution allows us to do that. We will then do infrastructure.
Your time is up, please. PPA candidate, Mr. Godwin Ezemo.
Good evening, Anambra. My name is Godwin Chukunenye Ezemo. I'm a trader, I'm an industrialist, I'm a farmer, I am a philanthropist, I'm a publisher. I live in Anambra State since 2012, and I have all I have. I've made outside Anambra. I've brought them back in here to see what is going to happen to Anambra because I want Anambra State to work. Having stayed here for this number of years, I've seen that we are lacking in all fields, despite the fact that Anambrans has got the best brain all over the world. What are we going to do? Are we going to stay here when we're in the water and we won't be able to wash our face when the soap is blinding us up? I have decided to come down, forgone my comfort zone purely to sacrifice that life for the people of Anambra State and the entire black man. I have my program which I call SHAP, S-H-A-P, security, health, agriculture, power, education, empowerment, and the environment. On this platform, we will be able to I will now take the best brain in Anambra to get Anambra in that form that we need to use to move forward this state. In terms of security, we will ensure that police and civilians work together so that we get the best out of the security. We will ensure that our youths are employed fully. Then the streets will be secured for everybody to walk around without having to have their purse snatched or having to be gunned down. Also, in my education or the education of my government, I believe I will work for skill-based education. Skill-based, it's not certificate. We rely so much on certificate and we are failing. Because I am an industrialist, I've seen that 70% of our graduates are not employable. They are unemployable. It's only about 30%. I'm saying this out of experience because in my industry I employ over 1,000 and all of them, many of them
Your time
are not
is
doing
up,
well.
please, Mr. Ezemo. It's your turn now, the UPP candidate, Osita Chidoka.
Thank you very much. In 2017, I'm amazed that the issues before us is still the basic issues of bread and butter. But for me, I think that what is critical in Anambra is a major philosophical base. I will apply the principle of Uche, the concept of knowledge, of wisdom, the principle of Uchu, the concept of hard work, and the principle of Eguchuku, morality, to bring back Anambra State on a stable foundation, upon which we will construct my 4 key steps to solving Anambra's problem. One is knowledge. Knowledge is the ability for us to take a baseline of everything in the state Second one is vision. We need to map out a shared vision with all the stakeholders in the state. The third one is execution. Our public service does not have the capacity to execute all these grand projects people are talking about. And the fourth one is sustainability. We need to sustain this. Anambra State in the National Competitive Report just published ranks very low in competitiveness. We need to change the bearing of our state. We need to change the infrastructure of our state, and that is the human infrastructure. That human infrastructure is critical because Anambra State currently ranks 37 out of 37 on issue of governance and contracting. Anambra State ranks 37 out of 37 on bribery and corruption. A grand bribery and corrupt scheme is going on in Anambra, and the whole country is taking note. And we need to change that. We need to go back to the basics. So the basics remain. We will bring back the concept of Uche, the concept of Uchu and Eguchupu. We will attack the state with the concept of knowledge. We will apply vision. We will apply execution, the capacity to execute projects, and we will apply sustainability. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's now time, since we now know you, we know what you stand for and why you're running at this time, we go into a very critical one, which is the issues of politics, your personal records and fitness for office. I'll start with you here, Mr. Dr. Tony Nwoye. And let me begin by asking you, you are seeking office today. You are currently a sitting lawmaker, federal lawmaker representing Anambra State in the House of Representatives. You jumped ship. You left the PDP to the APC. Now that you're seeking office, how do you hope that the people of Anambra State, or the voters, will trust you with their votes, knowing full well that at some point you abandon the party that gave you the platform for another party?
The party that gave me, I won the ticket of PDP. The PDP then, presided by the former president, supervised and ensured that Tony Nwoye was not a candidate. Had to battle through the corporate Jonathan just to help Abuga, just to please Governor PT1. And I was kept in cuff. I campaigned only for 11 days. At the end of the day, the rest was history. They sabotaged me. At the end of the day, I still remain in the party. Loyal party man. This was a party. I served as secretary. The party, I served as a state chairman. PDP won the entire House of Assembly, the entire National Assembly, apart from 1 seat, and even the governorship. Now, after the whole thing was done, I still remain steadfast with PDP, a party I've won House of Rep. They refused that I will be sworn in. A party that they jeopardized and supported Abuga, another party. A party that after the whole in 2015, I won election. The same party collaborated with Abuga and denied me from being announced the winner in my federal constituency. Because the incumbent governor is from a local government, because they partner with him. Now, I still shed it apart and I still remain in the party. 2015 August, I now said, let us do free and fair congresses. Let Anambra PD people determine who leads them. Somebody somewhere in Abuja, my friend and my brother Olusametu to say no. They will stay in Abuja and write Congress list result. I say for that, if you not allow people to determine who leads them, if you not allow the leader of the party who formed this party to determine the Oko people, where it comes from, to determine who leads the party, to know where we live. That was why I left. Impunity, impunity, impunity. I left. My supporters say we must lead PDP. Now, let me tell you, I'm a man of honor and integrity. In the House of Rep, I'm representing Anambra East, Anambra West, federal constituency. Incidentally, I'm from the same constituency with my senior brother, governor of Anambra State. My West and my bond, that is why in National Assembly today, the Enugu Onitsha, I specifically ensured 7.5 billion naira appropriated in 2017 budget.
Right. Your time is up on this one, but I'll ask a follow-up question based on your fitness for office, and you have a minute to answer this one. And it's going to be your history as a student union leader, and at a time when Chris Ngige was governor of Anambra State. The word on the street, and I'm very sure that you're familiar with this narrative, about the kidnap of the former governor and the issues of arson that were reported and fingers pointed at you. Can the people trust you with this kind of perception that they have about you?
It was a propaganda blackmailed by Abuga-led government. When Chris Ngige was governor, I was not involved in any way. The day Chris Ngige was kidnapped, remember I was the first medical student to be elected Speaker of Students Union Government in 1998. Remember, I was first Igbo man to be elected President of the National Assembly of Nigerian Students. I was never linked in courtism, violence, and arson. Rather, All my life I've been fighting against injustice. Injustice by school management, injustice by state government, injustice by students against students vis-a-vis courtism. That is why the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, then Professor Banefo, Professor Okafo, Dean of Enugu campus, Dean Students Affairs, Professor Onyekwe, Professor Elsie Ume, Dean Enugu campus. All of them are living. Incidentally, all of them are Nigerians. They gave me the best award. The best thing has ever happened to the University of Nigeria because of the fight I waged against school authority, against justice, against courtism. Now let me come to the issue of Ngige. I was never involved. The white paper is there. I was never involved. Listen to me. No, don't cut me short.
Time is up.
It's very clear. I was never involved. It was a blackmail by propaganda by Abga-led government. Rather, it is the Abga government that the government is parading non-courtists. I arrested when I was student leader. I came down here and arrested them. Right. If you want, I can mention their names here. Time is up. I came and arrested them. Time is up now.
Time is up now. Let's go to the ABGA candidates and the governor of Anambra State. You work closely. You were working as a banker. You were an auditor. You grew into being a senior auditor where you worked historically. You worked with the former governor and you became the governor of Anambra State. What exactly caused what some people in your party believe might be betrayal of trust with your former principal or the former governor?
Well, Shehu, I believe that this is, I'm not campaigning against Peter. He's not a candidate. So I rather focus on the things that I want to do for the Anambra and what I've done. If you look at when I came here, there was no security. People were not coming home. 69 people were kidnapped in the 8 years of the previous administration. But I came, I saw, I conquered, and today people are coming home in deluge. People from all kinds of places for marriages, for wedding, for church activities, for Ofala festivals, Yam festival, what have you. And this has provided a dividend on security. The dividend is as follows. One, many people come in, they bring in money. As a matter of fact, by the last estimate we did with the consultants, what inflows into Anambra every month is about ₦1 billion every month, and it trickles down. Secondly, the payment of salaries, that's and when due, is also helping the people to stabilize. By the way, let me give you statistics to show what we've done. First is that in 2009, the GDP of Anambra State was 2.8 trillion. I grew this GDP up in 2016 to 3.98 trillion. So in 2 years, I grew the Anambra economy by 1 trillion. And if you put this side by side with other, convert it into dollars and put it side by other countries, you find that the GDP of Anambra, we are the 27th in Africa, if we're a country. And if you do GDP per capita, that will give you $2,338 naira per person, using 500 million people.
I'm afraid the time is up, but you have not answered the questions that I asked you, and it's about the people of Anambra State. The voters want to know about what happened, and everything in governance is about trust. And so the question is, what was the fallout? Was it true that there was a bargain between you and the former governor of a return of political funding for your election into office the first time? Well, you have just about 1 minute to answer this.
Well, let me make this point. First, the former governor went into another party. Secondly, yes, some requests were made about payments, which I declined because we didn't owe anybody during the election. I'd rather leave it that way and focus on what I'm trying to do. I've told you severally that with these things we are doing on security and paying salaries as and when due, and the growth in the economy to 3 trillion naira, let me tell you the growth pattern. In 2014, Anambra State grew by 13.8%. Nigeria as a whole grew by 6.5%. In 2014, Anambra grew by 15%. Nigeria grew by 2.5%. In 2016, Anambra, Nigeria went below the line. That is negative 1.5. Anambra was 1%. So Anambra was the only state that didn't see recession in Nigeria. If all states in Nigeria were to be like Anambra, we won't be in a recession. And that is very important. That's the that is what I'm bringing to the table.
Thank you so much for your for that. Let's go to the candidate, Mr. Selaka Obasi. You've worked in the United Nations as a former secretary to the government of Anambra State. You worked with former Governor Peter Obi. You worked with your fellow contender there on the stage. What was the reason why you left the position, and why did you jump ship?
Well, we had an understanding in the first instance. When Governor Peter Obi was leaving, I had packed up to leave the government. Governor Peter Obi asked me to stay, and Governor Obiano also asked me to stay. We agreed I would stay for 6 months to help the incoming government stabilize. I ended up staying for 15 months, and at the appointed time when he found a successor, I left government and he appointed a successor. I think that break was mutual. There was no acrimony. And as you would know, I left government. I issued a statement on the 8th of June 2015 that I was returning to private life. And I did return to private life. I live in Oka. I don't live in any of the highbrow estates. I live among the people in Agoka. And I run an office here, a consultancy. I employ people in Anambra State. And basically, that's what I've done. But at the end of 2016, I had to speak up because I said Anambra State had been hijacked. And it needed us to rescue the state. I believe the state deserved better than it was getting, both in governance, both in transparency, both in delivery of infrastructure. That was why I jumped back into politics. I think the measure of a man, like Martin Luther King says, is not where you stand in times of comfort and convenience. It is where you stand in times of challenge and controversy. We are challenged. That's why I'm involved.
Because the question will be, and I have about a minute to answer this, the question will be the reasons, the real reasons, political reasons why you are seeking office. Because the man that has been said to be backing you in this race, the former governor, whom they say is your godfather. Is he your godfather? And are we going to see a replay? Is it just a game of godfatherism replaying out itself again and again?
Shehu, it's a matter of semantics. Was Peter Obiano's godfather when he brought him in? Would anybody answer that? If you were looking for godfather, when I started this mission, I went to Alex Ekwueme, who is the foremost elected official living, an Igbo man in this country. I sought his counsel. I've seen him, I've known him since I was 7. And I asked for his guidance. Why is he not seen as my godfather? It's a matter of semantics. In this business, as in every other business, even in the religion, the priests have formators. You have mentors. I have mentors. I mentor people. Why would anybody diminish what I'm doing as a godfather? I ran for governor in 2013. I was disqualified. I did not leave the party. I must take a stand when there's a challenge for this state, when things are not working. Others might be comfortable sitting back. I am not. That's why I'm involved.
Okay, Mr. Godwin Ezimo. Is it for you desperation? You said you're a philanthropist. You own businesses in oil and gas and all that. Why are you running? You ran the other time. In fact, you were at some point offered a deputy governorship seat. You left. You wanted to be governor last time, 4 years ago in the last election cycle. Again, you want to become governor. Is it a matter of desperation for you?
Thank you so much. It is not, but it's a matter of necessity. Anambra State is wallowing in trouble. We're all in trouble. And therefore, we need good-spirited individuals. We need people who are selfless. We need people who can even offer their life for the entire Anambra people, for the black man to come and take over the leadership of Anambra State. If we keep waiting, if we keep looking at what is just going on within Anambra State and within Anambra State, then we're not going nowhere. I am here purely to offer myself selflessly, willingly, gratuitously to serve the people of Anambra. I've not come to make money or to make name or a matter of desperation, but it is purely a matter of vision and passion. If it's an ambition, I should have walked away. Because virtually everybody you see in Anambra State, I'm sorry, majority of the people in Anambra State, they are wobbly. You can't really hold them. to any point, because nobody is sincere, no matter the level where you find them. Therefore, I have offered myself with my experience, what I have gotten out there in the United Kingdom. What made me to leave that place, a very good place flowing with milk and honey, to come back here to live in a village, to assist the less privileged, to assist indigent students, to help create employment opportunity where these kids or everybody, all the young ones are employed, to even teach them the way life has got to go. That is why I run a workshop in 2012 where I told Anambrans that the problem we have here is that of mindset, that we need to change it. We need a leader who can be selfless, who will be upright, to be in the forefront. Then he can direct things to be done properly.
The issue of, you have about a minute also to answer this follow-up. The issue of funding of your party comes to the table. In the United States, for example, we have the president, the sitting president of the United States, Donald Trump, who amidst all odds against interest in his political party emerged the president of the United States.
Yeah.
That man is a businessman. You own businesses in this state.
That's right.
What will happen to your business should you become the governor of Anambra State?
Thank you so much. Already I've calculated all these costs. My business is already being managed by the team of managers I have already. I mean, one tree doesn't make a forest. For me to have gotten this far, I have good managers, good people who run in my absence, and the business goes. So my business will be out of it now. The issue, the business now is how can we make this place the best place for all of us to, which every Anambrian is yearning for.
Because the question is, how would you manage profit? You know the policy of being an executive governor, and when you have private interests.
Okay. The policy, being an executive governor, I'm not going to do it alone. I will select the best brain again to come along with me, so that we formulate policies that will help every Anambrian. I'm not going to do it alone as a businessman. It will be it's not a one-man show.
Thank you. Let's go to the candidate of the UPP, Mr. Osita Chidoka. You also, this is not your first party. You have been a former minister under the People's Democratic Party, and now you've come to the UPP. The word on the street out there is that the reasons why you left PDP to come to UPP is because you wanted to be a governor at all costs, and you were looking for a platform where you perhaps thought that you will get it. For you also, is it a matter of desperation?
The key issue really is, why do you want to be a governor? The issue is not about what platform, but let me address that. The UPP approximates my thoughts and beliefs at this time. My basic thoughts and belief at this time is that, number one, the Nigerian state needs to be renegotiated. Any party that does not subscribe to the principle of the right to self-determination, of the right for component parts of Nigeria to express themselves freely, that party does not approximate my philosophy. I believe that the Nigerian state is a product of negotiation. We negotiated it in 1953, in 1957, and we got independence as a Nigerian state. We negotiated and created the Midwestern state. So Nigeria is a subject of continuous negotiation. The UPP has said that they believe in the right to self-determination, that they believe in the idea of referendum. I believe that when Nigeria is freely negotiated, when Nigerian component states really subscribe to the idea of Nigeria, then we will have a great nation. We will have a prosperous nation. We cannot grow a nation without the freedom of people who subscribe to that dream. Interestingly, the governor talks about the GDP of Anambra growing. That's what happens when you have American consultants, because they talk about GDP. What is the issue in Anambra is that Anambra is the state with the lowest ranking in bribery and corruption. Anambra is the state with the lowest ranking. He inherited $41 million debt. He now has $85 million. He is not in a sustainable state. Anambra state is not in a sustainable state. So my desire to be governor is to reverse the trend, is to make our children who go to school, only 13% of our teachers in JSS are computer literate. So the education our children are getting is education for yesterday, not education for tomorrow.
Okay. Since you mentioned the issue of negotiation and all of that, it's recorded and everybody saw that you drove the self-acclaimed leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, home after he was released on bail. And the word out there is that you did that just to get to get the popularity of it, to swing votes for yourself. What was the reason why you did that?
Well, if it was a popularity contest, I'm sure the candidates will have gone for it. The issue is the fundamental philosophy of the right of individuals in the democracy to freely express themselves within the laws of the country. Once we have that right as enshrined in our constitution, I believe we must respect it. And if anybody violates the terms of our constitution and our laws, then the law should take its course. The law took its course on him. He got bail from a court. And I participated in ensuring that the bridge of communication between the angry young people in Southeast and the rest of the country is a burden I believe I bear. As a young minister, as a young former chief executive of the Federal Road Safety Corps, I believe I serve as a beautiful bridge. I serve as that bridge that connects the dreams of Nigeria with the aspirations of Ndibo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Osita Chidoka. We'll take a break, and when we return, the candidates will be telling us how they will manage the economy of Anambra State if they get a shot at being the governor at the next election. Join us again.